morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning we've come to a part of our lecture where it's incredibly exciting because we're going to have a look at movement this morning. Movement is life. Strength comes by exercise, and activity is the very condition of life. Stagnant pools breed disease and stagnant bodies breed disease. And we've come to a time in Earth's history where people don't actually need to move that much because we've got cars and buses and trains and planes and vacuum cleaners and automatic washing machines, and people don't even use elbow grease to wash the showers now. They just use sharp chemicals. And because activity is not a necessary part of most people's lives, many people are getting sick because their bodies are not moving. A couple of times this week I've referred to the blood as the river of life. It is the river of life because wherever the blood touches, it brings life. It brings nutrition, it brings water, it brings oxygen, and it takes away waste from every single part of the human body to every absolute extremity. One of the problems is when the body's not moving as it should, that river of life doesn't reach the extremities quite like it should. I'm amazed at the amount of people, even young people, tell me they always got cold feet. What does cold feet mean? There's no river of life down there because the river of life is warm. So any part of the body that's cold, it's an indication the river of life's not getting there. And if the river of life is not getting there, death can start to happen in those parts of the body. Early in the week we looked at the kidneys, and we looked at how many people are experiencing cold kidneys because they're not wearing enough clothing in that area. That's when those little nephrons start to die because the river of life is not reaching them. And you know what the farmer does with the little lamb? He puts a little ring, a little tight ring around the top of the tail, and it takes, I think, a couple of weeks and the tail falls off. Why does the tail fall off? There's no river of life. Anything that you can do to ensure a proper delivery of the river of life to every single part of your body means healing to that part of the body, because the blood is the healer. And perfect health requires perfect circulation. Perfect circulation means my toes are as warm as every other part of my body. But what usually happens in the night when you're sleeping, everything slows down a little bit, and we're glad. Because as we slow down, that's when the body starts to revive and recharge. But the river of life slows down to a nice, quiet pace. So when you wake up in the morning, the blood tends to have pooled in the internal organs. And the best time to exercise is in the morning, because it brings that blood right out to the extremities and basically sets up a pace for your body to run at all through the day. So even if you're going to be sitting most of the day, the fact that you've done an early morning workout means you've actually raised the rate. You've set a pace that the body will run at through the day. For exercise to be a powerful healing remedy, it must be done in the morning and it must be done regularly. This is called frequency. Frequency means done frequently. God designed that this living machinery be in daily activity, and in that activity is its preserving power. For exercise to be a preservative, it must be done frequently. All the experts agree. You won't hear me say that much, but they do agree on one thing. Half an hour's exercise a day will keep the body in good working order. That's your maintenance program. Have you ever seen a house that hasn't been maintained? When we came into this health retreat here, it was not a health retreat when we came to it. In fact, the first time we walked into this building, I thought it looked like a sickness retreat. It had not been maintained. All the draining areas were all blocked up. In fact, Michael chipped back the grass one day, and he kept chipping and he kept chipping at the back, and he chipped back a full foot and he found a drain. And in the drain was an old boot and some old clothes. And because the drain hadn't been maintained, the water was all coming in. And there was a lot of mould in this place. When I came here, I thought, how could this ever be converted into a health retreat? It had had no maintenance program. Takes a lot of work to build a house, but not a lot to maintain it. Well, we came in and there'd been no maintenance. And it took 6 months of a lot of workers to get this once again up to operating standards. It hadn't been maintained. We're maintaining it now. I meet so many bodies that haven't been maintained. Haven't been maintained. And some people say, can you get me fixed in a week? I said, whew, the body's an amazing piece of machinery, but whoa, that's a tall order, a week. How long since you've exercised? Oh, 20 years. Do you know, with many human bodies, it takes 20 years of not treating it right before it breaks down quite badly. Well, I've got some good news. It's not going to take 20 years to get it better again. Did you catch that one? Won't take 20 years. Might take 2. Take a month for every year you've done it wrong. It's not year for year. That's the good news. We couldn't get this place ready in a week. It took 6 months of very hard work. And this is not a living machinery. Your body's a living machinery. And the miracle of the human body is what some bodies survive, considering the conditions they've been given. But because the blood is the healer, anything that stimulates the blood moving a little bit faster is square one, paramount. Half an hour's exercise a day will keep the body in good working order. That's your maintenance dose. 1 hour's exercise a day will reverse major problems. What sort of problems? You name it. Start at the tip of your toe and go up to the tip of your head. And any problems in any area of the body, take a 1 hour exercise a day to get a reversal of major problems. Did you hear about the old Aussie farmer? Happened about 30 years ago. Michael said it was in the news again recently. Been given 6 months to live. I think he was in his late 60s. He had cancer. In his distress, he just put a few belongings into a wheelbarrow and decided to walk. He's going to walk around Australia. And he walked, and he walked, and he walked. It took him 2 years. How long did he have to live? 6 months. When he got back, he felt fantastic. He felt vibrant. His body was not walking like this anymore. It was almost sprinting. And the energy that it took to sprint was less than the energy when he first started out just to walk. But one of the best ways to get that brain working a little bit better is to exercise. Exercise is vital. It's the very condition of life. More people rust out than wear out. This amazing human body is different to any other machinery. The more you work it, the stronger it gets, the more efficient it gets, and the stronger that heart gets, and the more efficient that heart beats. It's almost like your bank account. You put a little bit in your bank account every day, within a year or 2 or 5 years, you've got a nice sum of money. It's exactly the same with exercise. You put a little bit in every day by your morning exercise, you have a look in a year or 2, and you'll be amazed at how strong your body is. I just do half-hour exercise a day containing always approximately 20-minute aerobic. I don't consider that I am peak fitness, but I would consider that I was average fitness. And I did a walk one day up a huge mountain, hour and a half walking like this. And in the team we had, one of the guys was about 35 and he had all those little machines monitoring your heart rate and your breathing. And we got 3/4 of the way up and he's monitoring it. And he said, let me have a look at yours. And he looked at mine and he went, you're one fit woman. I was actually better than him and he was 35. You see, it's just such a simple thing. When your body's fit and running well, it's like you're driving a Rolls Royce of a body. How nice to live in a body that works. It's got nothing to do with age. It's got nothing to do with genetics. It's all, and that's the same with your bank.